The dying planet and the stranger in the water. The sky was dark red. Clouds moved slowly like heavy smoke. The ground was dry and cracked, and a strange wind howled across the land. This planet was dying. It had once been full of life, but now, there was only silence and poison in the air. A small ship crashed near a black lake. Fire and smoke rose as the metal body hit the ground hard. Pieces of the ship flew in all directions. The lake bubbled quietly, glowing with a green light. It looked like water, but it was not safe. From the wreckage, a man slowly crawled out. His name was Rian. He was human, one of the few left in this part of the galaxy. His suit was torn, his face bleeding, and his body weak. But he was alive. He stood up, looking around at the dead world. His ship was destroyed. He had no signal, no help. He reached for a small scanner from his belt and tried to find a safe zone. Nothing, just rocks, wind, and that strange glowing lake. Then he heard something. A soft sound. Like crying. Rian turned. At first he saw nothing. But then, near the edge of the lake, something moved. A hand. Rian ran closer, stopping just before the water. His eyes widened. Floating in the center of the toxic lake was a girl. Or, not just a girl. She had long silver hair, ears like a fox, and a slim tail. Her eyes were closed, her body still. Only her hand moved slightly, as if asking for help. "No way," Rian whispered. A hybrid. He had heard stories. Humans and other species had been mixed in labs. Most hybrids were used for war or experiments. They were rare and dangerous. But this one looked helpless. Dying. Rian looked at the lake. Scanners showed high levels of acid and radiation. Going in could kill him. Touching the water might melt his skin. But the girl was slipping under. "Damn it," he muttered, without thinking more. Rian grabbed a rope from his bag, tied one end to a rock and wrapped the other around his waist. He took a deep breath and jumped into the lake. The pain was instant, like knives on his skin. The suit helped a little, but not enough. He swam hard, ignoring the fire in his muscles. Closer. Closer. The girl sank lower. He reached out and grabbed her arm. Her skin was cold, too cold. He pulled her close and turned back, swimming with all his strength. The suit alarm screamed. Oxygen low. Heat rising. Acid damage. He reached the shore and dragged her out with him. His vision blurred, but he held on. Once on land, Rian pulled off his helmet and gasped for air. He quickly checked the girl's body. No injuries, just weak, barely breathing. "Come on, stay with me," he said, pressing gently on her chest. After a few moments, she coughed. Water came out of her mouth, glowing green. She opened her eyes, deep, golden eyes, like a wild animal's, staring straight into his. She tried to speak, but no words came. She passed out again. Rian sat beside her, shaking from pain. His suit was almost destroyed, his hands were burned. But he had saved her. As night came, strange lights moved in the sky above them. Small drones, maybe. Quiet machines scanning the surface. Rian covered her with his jacket and hid under a piece of the broken ship. He looked at her again. Who was she? Why was she in that lake? Was she sent here? Or did she escape? Rian didn't have the answers, but he knew one thing. Someone would come looking for her, and when they did, Rian would have to choose, run or fight. The woman with fox eyes. Night passed slowly. Cold winds blew across the dead land. Rian didn't sleep. He sat near the broken ship, watching the strange girl. She lay still, wrapped in his jacket, breathing softly. Her silver hair shined under the dark sky. Her fox-like ears twitched slightly as if reacting to distant sounds. Her skin was pale but no longer cold. The poison water hadn't killed her, which was strange. Most living things couldn't survive that lake. Rian barely did. Morning light arrived, soft and red. Rian stood up, sore and tired. He checked his suit. broken, his weapons gone. He was alone on a dead planet with a girl he didn't know, and something was definitely not right. He turned as she moved. The girl's eyes opened again. Golden, glowing, deep. Not just eyes. They felt like they were watching inside his mind. She sat up slowly and looked around, confused. Then her eyes locked on Rian. "Who are you?" Her voice was soft. Strange. Like it was hard for her to form words. "Name's Rian," he said carefully. "I pulled you out of the lake." She looked down at her hands. "I remember the water. I remember pain and running." "Running from what?" Rian asked. She shook her head. "I don't know. Something was chasing me. But my head, it's full of noise, like broken glass." Rian stepped closer. "Do you know your name?" She hesitated. "Nira, I think." "Nira," Rian repeated. "Do you remember anything else?" Nira closed her eyes. Flashes of lights, machines, white rooms, voices shouting, metal arms, pain. "No, just pieces," she said. Suddenly, the scanner on Rian's wrist beeped. Movement. He jumped up and looked at the screen. 3 flying drones. Incoming fast. "They found us," he muttered. "Can you run?" Nira stood up, a bit shaky but strong. Her eyes narrowed. "Yes." They ran. Through rocks and broken ground, Rian led her toward a cave he had seen from the sky before the crash. The drones followed, scanning, searching. They barely made it into the shadows. Inside the cave, Rian pulled out a small light and turned it on. It revealed a large, deep tunnel. They went further in. "They're hunting you," Rian said. "Why?" "I don't know," Nira whispered. "But I think I was made for something." "Made?" Rian asked. She touched her arm and showed him a small mark under her skin. A glowing code moving like liquid. "I'm not natural, not fully human." "I figured," Rian said. "You're a hybrid." "Yes, but different, more advanced. Something new, something dangerous." Suddenly the tunnel shook. A loud sound echoed from the outside. An explosion. Then footsteps. Not just drones now. Soldiers. They were sending ground troops. "They want you back," Rian said. Nira's breathing grew heavy. "If they take me, they'll use me. For war. To destroy." "Destroy what?" "Everything." They kept moving through the cave until they reached a deep chamber. Strange symbols were written on the walls. Old alien writing. "This is ancient tech," Rian said. "From the forgotten builders." Nira walked toward the symbols. They started to glow. Her eyes glowed too. Suddenly the wall shifted, and a door opened. Rian stared. "How did you do that?" "I don't know," she said. "My body remembers things that my mind does not." They stepped inside. The room lit up on its own. In the center was a floating crystal, humming. "This place is a hidden lab," Rian whispered. "Before the wars, before the fall." Nira touched the crystal. Her body tensed. Images flooded her brain. A lab. Alien scientists. A project called Vessel Zero. A plan to merge the strongest DNA across species. To create the perfect weapon. She fell to her knees. Rian ran to her side. "Nira!" "I was created to kill," she said, her voice shaking. "But I escaped before they could complete me. They were afraid I'd think for myself." Suddenly, Rian's scanner beeped again. Troops had entered the cave. "They're here," he said. Nira stood, her eyes still glowing. "I won't go back." "Can you fight?" "I don't know," she said. "But if I let go of what's inside me, I don't know what will happen to this planet." Rian grabbed a broken weapon from his pack. "Then let's make sure they don't get the chance." As soldiers moved deeper into the cave, the lights from the lab began to pulse. The crystal responded to Nira's presence. Suddenly, a voice came from the walls. Robotic. Ancient. Vessel 0 recognized. Memory access. Unlocked. Nira gasped. Memories, maps, code, battle tactics, galactic secrets. All inside her mind now. She turned to Rayon. They didn't just make me to destroy. What then? They made me to lead. Escape through the shadows, the cave trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. Somewhere above, metal boots stomped on stone, echoing louder with each second. Rion checked his weapon. It was old, half melted from the crash, but still had one shot left. He looked at Nira. Her golden eyes were brighter now, calm but alert. The glow from the alien crystal behind her pulsed with every beat of her heart. "We don't have time," Rian said. "We stay, we die." Nira nodded. "I can feel them, 12 of them, heavily armed. They're not just soldiers, they're extraction hunters." Rion frowned. "You feel them?" "Yes," she said quietly. "It's part of the upgrade they gave me. My senses are different now." She turned toward a dark tunnel hidden behind the crystal chamber. "There's another way out, but it's long, deep, and not safe." "Define not safe," Rion muttered. She stepped into the darkness. It was built to hold things they couldn't control. The tunnel was cold and tight. Glowing fungi lit the way in soft green colors. Water dripped from cracks in the walls. Strange growls echoed now and then, not near but not far either. Rion followed close behind. "So you're saying this is a prison?" "Part of it, yes," Nira said. "They use the lab above to create hybrids, and the tunnels below to keep the failures." Rion looked around nervously. "How many failures?" Nira didn't answer. Instead, she stopped near a sealed door. Her hand hovered over it. Lights blinked. The door slid open with a loud hiss. Inside was a massive underground hangar, filled with broken machines, half-dead robots, and rusted weapons. In the center, buried in dust, was a sleek black ship. It looked old, but powerful. Rion whistled. "Is that thing flyable?" "It was built by the same empire that built me," Nira said. "It will respond to my code." She climbed into the ship. Rion followed. Inside, the ship lit up instantly. The controls were alien, floating screens, shifting panels, but Nira touched them like she'd done it before, like it was muscle memory. "You've flown this before," Rion said. "I've never seen it. But somehow, I know it." Suddenly, alarms screamed across the ship. Outside, movement. The extraction hunters had found the entrance to the hangar. "We have one chance," Rian said. "Can this thing still fly?" "Yes. But we'll have to go through them." The ship powered. Engines roared. Metal dust lifted into the air. Red lights flashed from the far tunnel. Enemy troops entering. Nira sat in the pilot seat. "Strap in." As the ship lifted, the hunters opened fire. Plasma shots blasted off the hull. One lucky hit took out a side wing. The ship spun slightly, but recovered. Rion fired back with a turret covering their takeoff. "Hang on!" Nira shouted. The ship rose through a narrow shaft in the ceiling. Rocks fell. Fire burned below. The enemy tried to follow with jump packs, but the ship shot out into open sky. But it wasn't over. In orbit above the planet, 2 bounty ships waited. They had tracked Nira's signal. Both ships locked targets as soon as Rion's ship appeared. "They're not letting us go," Rion said. Nira's hands moved fast across the controls. Then she paused and placed her palm on a strange glowing orb. Suddenly, the ship moved on its own. Fast, sharp, intelligent. "You're not flying anymore," Rian said, shocked. "I'm not," she said. "We're linked." The bounty ships fired. Laser beams sliced across the sky. Nira's ship twisted and dodged like it had a mind of its own, because now it did. She wasn't just flying it, she was merged with it. The battle in space was wild and fast. Rion manned the weapons while Nira guided the ship through fire and debris. One of the bounty ships exploded. The second clipped their tail but missed the kill shot. Rion targeted the last hunter. Goodbye. He fired. The ship went silent. Space lit up with one final blast and then nothing. They drifted in silence for a moment. Neera pulled her hand away from the orb, breathing heavily. It's exhausting. The link takes a lot from me. You saved us, Rian said, watching her. We're not safe yet, she replied. She tapped a screen and opened a map of the sector. Red zones blinked everywhere. They'll keep coming. I was supposed to be asleep forever, locked inside a lab. They'll chase me across the galaxy if they must. Then we stay ahead, Rian said. We find out who built you. We end it at the source. Neera looked at him. Why are you helping me? I was made to kill, to destroy. Rian leaned back in his seat. I saw you in that water, broken, alone. You didn't kill. You cried. That means you're more than a weapon. She smiled slightly. The first time since he met her. Then let's find the truth, she said. Far away, in a hidden base. A figure watched the space battle replay on a screen. It was an alien with silver armor, sharp eyes and cold blue skin. She woke up, he whispered. He turned to a dark room behind him, full of giant glass tanks. Inside them floated more hybrids, unfinished, waiting. Send the order, the figure said. Vessel 0 must be recovered or destroyed. The memory seed, the black ship floated silently through space. Inside, Rian checked the ship's systems while Neera rested. She sat near a wide glass window, her silver hair glowing under the light of distant stars. Her golden eyes stared into nothingness, lost in thought. Even in silence, something moved behind her eyes. Memories, perhaps, or something deeper. You okay? Rian asked, not looking up. Neera didn't answer right away. Then softly, I see faces I don't know, voices I can't place, but they call me by name. Vessel 0. Why 0? Why not 1? Rian walked over and sat across from her. Maybe because you were the first. Or maybe because I was never meant to count, she said coldly. Suddenly a beeping sound echoed through the ship. A signal. Faint. Encrypted. Old. Rian checked the coordinates. It's coming from a small moon in Sector 912, unmarked, hidden. We should go, Neera said, standing up. We don't even know what's there. I do, she whispered. I think someone left it for me. The moon was dead and dark. No cities, no ships, just a frozen surface and a mountain range covered in shadows. Rian landed the ship in a valley surrounded by rock spires. The signal grew stronger as they approached a strange black tower, half buried in ice. This place is old, Rian said. Older than any empire. Neera walked ahead. The tower door opened by itself. Inside was a spiraling staircase made of silver, stone. Lights lit up as she passed. No controls, no wires. Just raw technology reacting to her presence. At the bottom they found a chamber. In the center floated a small object, a smooth sphere with soft blue light pulsing inside. What is that? Rian asked. Neera stepped forward. A memory seed. What's it do? It holds locked memories, truths, emotions, entire lives, sealed away. Your memories? Neera nodded. Yes. Or a version of me. She reached out and touched it. The room went dark. Suddenly, Neera's mind was filled with images, not just visions but feelings. She saw herself on a table. Cold metal. Lights above her. Alien scientists circled around. They argued in sharp languages. One word repeated. Control. She felt pain. Not just physical, emotional. They took pieces from dozens of species. Humans, Foxians, telepaths, shadow walkers. They made her perfect. Then they did something worse. They gave her the ability to feel hope, sadness, fear. They didn't expect her to understand those feelings. They thought she'd stay silent. A tool. But emotions are powerful, and in the end, they made her too human. She remembered escaping, not by chance, but by choice. A guard hesitated. She begged. He listened. He paid with his life. Nira opened. Her eyes. The memory seed floated gently in front of her, still glowing. She turned to Rian. I wasn't just a weapon. I was an experiment in hope. Hope, he asked. Yes. One scientist believed that power without feeling is poison. He gave me emotion. He believed I could choose right over wrong. And you did, but the Empire didn't agree. They ordered me erased, destroyed. Suddenly a sound came from the corner of the chamber. A voice, old but clear. A hologram appeared. A hooded figure. Alien, tired eyes. If you are seeing this, it said, then Vessel Zero has awakened. Nira stared, breath held. You must understand. She is the only one we made who has a soul. The others, they are only echoes. Rian looked around. Others? They made copies, Nira whispered. But none like me. The hologram continued. She holds not just the power to destroy, but the key to ending the war that is coming. A war no one will survive unless she chooses to fight. Then it ended. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, but there was no storm. Rian ran to the ship's scanner. Something's coming, big. Nira looked up. In the sky, a tear opened in space. A ship appeared, 10 times larger than theirs. Dark red, shaped like a blade. A symbol glowing on its side, a circle of eyes. They found me, she said. How? Rian asked. She held up the memory seed. They were watching, through this. You just downloaded a target onto your back. I had to know the truth. So what now? She stepped forward, glowing slightly. Now, I make a choice. They ran back to the ship. Engines roared. The enemy vessel opened its bays, releasing hundreds of small hunter drones. Rian jumped into the gunner seat. We're not going to make it out, are we? Nira sat at the core interface and placed both hands on the orb. Maybe not as we are, she said, but maybe as something more. As the ship lifted, a strange energy pulsed around her. Her eyes closed. Her body floated. Then, the ship changed. It became faster, stronger, alive. They shot into the sky, dodging a rain of fire. But something had changed. Not just in the ship, in Nira. You're different, Rian said. I've accepted what I am. And what's that? Nira opened her eyes. Not just Vessel Zero, not just a weapon. I am the first of a new kind. Far away in the Empire's capital, the silver-skinned general watched from a throne of glass. She found the seed, he said. Another officer asked, should we activate the others? He smiled. No, let her come. She's walking into her destiny, and into my trap. The hunters arrive. The stars around them blurred as the black ship flew through hyperspace. Inside, the silence was heavy. Rian sat with his hands resting on the console, staring at the stars flashing past. He wasn't sure what scared him more, the ship chasing them, or the girl sitting across from him. Nira. She was no longer the same being he had pulled from the poisoned water. She was stronger, calmer, glowing with strange energy, and somehow less human. You okay? Rian asked, breaking the silence. Yes, Nira replied, but something's changing inside me. The more I unlock, the less I feel like myself. What does that mean? It means I'm waking up. But I don't know what I'll become when I'm fully awake. The ship exited hyperspace above an abandoned mining station floating around a dead asteroid. It had no signals, no lights, no life. Perfect for hiding. We'll rest here, Rian said. The ship needs repair, and you... He looked at her. You need time. They docked. The station was cold and empty. Steel corridors stretched in every direction. Broken lights flickered. Old bloodstains covered the walls. Place gives me bad vibes, Rion muttered. Something happened here, Nira said. Long ago. As they explored, they reached a control room. Inside, old recordings still worked. Rion activated. 1. A hologram flickered to life. Miners screaming, alarms ringing, something dragging bodies through the dark. Then, silence. They weren't attacked by pirates, Rion said. They were hunted. By what? Nira whispered. Just then, her body froze. They're here, she said. Who? The ones built to replace me. The power went out. Red emergency lights clicked on. Outside the control room, heavy footsteps echoed. Metal clanged. Hissing. Rion aimed his weapon at the door. Tell me this isn't what I think it is. They sent the prime hunters, Nira said. How bad are they? Each one stronger than me. Perfect. Suddenly, the wall exploded inward. A tall figure stepped in. Silver skin, burning red eyes, a body like armor, and no face, only a mask shaped like a skull. Vessel Zero, it spoke in a deep, echoing voice. You must return. You are not finished. Nira stood between the hunter and Rion. I'm not going back. Then you will be erased. The fight began. The hunter moved faster than Rion could see. He fired, missed. Nira caught the hunter's strike with her bare hand. The ground cracked beneath her feet. They clashed. Strength against strength, light against shadow. The force shook the station. Rion ran, searching for a way to help. In another corridor, 2 more hunters appeared. They were smaller, faster, with weapons grown from their arms, bladed like insect legs. This just keeps getting better, Rion muttered, raising his gun. He lured them into the cargo bay, sealed the door, and turned on the station's magnetic core. The gravity reversed. Rion floated, but the hunters, made of heavier alloy, slammed into the ceiling. Gravity still works on freaks like you, he said, throwing a plasma grenade. Boom. He ran back to Nira. She was losing. The first hunter had adapted to her moves. He countered every strike, every step. His mask cracked, revealing no face, just wires and black muscle. You feel too much, the hunter said. Emotion is weakness. Nira fell to her knees. Maybe, she said softly. But that's why I'll win. She closed her eyes. Then, she let go. A wave of energy burst from her chest. A soundless shock wave that tore through the station. The hunter flew back, crashing into the wall, his body sizzling with light. Nira stood, glowing brighter now. Her hair floated, her eyes pure white. She walked forward, each step shaking the ground. I'm not Vessel Zero anymore, she said. I'm the first to choose. With one final punch, she shattered the hunter's core. He dropped, lifeless. Rion watched from the hallway, amazed and terrified. Remind me not to get on your bad side, Nira turned to him. Her eyes slowly returned to gold. She looked tired. Human again. I can't hold that power for long, she said. It drains me, burns everything inside. We need to move, Rion said. Others might be coming. They ran back to the ship. As they lifted off, the station exploded behind them, destroyed from the energy blast Nira had released. Far away in the Empire's main base, the general watched a screen showing the destroyed hunters. He stood slowly. She has fully awakened. An officer beside him looked worried. Should we send the shadows? The general shook his head. No. It's time for the last phase. He opened a chamber behind his throne. Inside floated a hybrid, larger than Nira, darker, with no light in its eyes. Wake Vessel 1, the general whispered. On the ship, Rion turned to Nira. You said others were made like you, he said. Copies. Failed weapons. They're not failed, she said. They're sleeping. What happens if they wake? Nira's eyes darkened. Then the war begins. The gift awakes. The black ship floated in silence, hidden within a drifting asteroid field. Distant stars blinked in the dark void like quiet watchers. After escaping the hunters, Rian and Nira had gone dark. No signals, no movement, only waiting. Inside the ship, the silence was different. Rayon sat on the floor, back against the cold wall. His breathing was heavy. His skin burned with strange warmth. His hands were changing. Nira stood beside him, scanning his body with the ship's medical system. Her face was calm, but her eyes were worried. "How long has this been happening?" she asked softly. "Since the station," Rian said. "Since the fight with the hunters. It started with headaches. Then, my eyes started glowing. Now my skin feels like it's humming." Nira checked the scanner again. "You've been touched by the memory seed," she said. "Something in it reacted with your human DNA. I thought only you could use that thing." "So did I," she whispered. "But maybe it left something inside you. Something that's waking up." Suddenly, Rian gasped. His eyes widened. He saw something, not in front of him, but inside his mind. A flash of light, a vision, a burning world, a war that had not yet begun. A voice calling his name, not once, but 1,000 times across time itself. He fell back. Nira caught him. "You're seeing the future," she said. "Or a possible one." Rian looked at her, his voice shaking. "They win, Nira. The Empire. They burn entire planets. I saw humans in chains. Hybrids like you, turned into machines." Nira's jaw clenched. "That's what they want. Not just control, but obedience. They erase choice." Light blinked on the control panel. An incoming signal, encrypted. Ancient, barely alive. Nira opened it. A voice spoke. Old, mechanical, and human. "To any survivor of Project Genesis, this is Command Arcos. If you carry the code, come to Beacon 11. The final protocol must be activated before Vessel 1 awakes. This is our last hope." Nira stared at the message. "Arcos. I know that name. Who is he?" "The first human who helped build me. He was part of the team, but he vanished after Project Zero. Failed. I thought he was dead." "If he's alive," Rian said, "he might know how to stop the Empire." "No," she replied. "He might know how to stop me." They flew toward Beacon 11, a small dead moon in a forgotten system, surrounded by ruins, broken satellites, and old defense rings. As they landed, something felt wrong. No signals, no movement, but something was watching. They found Arcos in a deep bunker beneath the moon, not living, but stored in an AI core. His face appeared as a flickering hologram. "Nira," he said with a sad smile. "You've grown." "You left us," she said. "You left me." "I had no choice," he replied. "They turned on me when I refused to erase your memories. I built a failsafe, a key to stop Vessel 1. It must be given to someone who still chooses freely." He turned to Rian. "You are human, unmodified, untouched by their design. But now the seed lives in you. You are the key." "Key to what?" Rian asked. "To stop what's coming." Suddenly the lights went out. A deep hum vibrated through the moon's core. Nira's eyes glowed. "He found us." Above the moon, a new ship appeared. Not like the others. It was alive, built from the bones of lost species, powered by stolen mines, and inside it floated Vessel 1. The first, the true weapon, larger than Nira. No emotions, pure command. It spoke through the ship systems. "Vessel 0 has failed. Her code is broken. Protocol override, elimination." The bunker shook. Rian stood, eyes still glowing. Arcos shouted, "He's linked to the seed now. He can activate." "The fail-safe." Nira turned to him. "You have to choose, Rian. Unlock it. But if you do, you may never be human again." Rian stared at his hands, no longer fully flesh. Glowing lines ran through them like circuits. He felt time bending, energy pulling. What happens if I do this? You rewrite the system, Arcos said, but you burn yourself doing it. And if I don't? Then she dies, Arcos said, pointing to Nira, and the Empire wins. Rian walked to the seed panel, touched it. The world slowed. Visions, past, present, future, versions of himself. Versions of Nira. Versions of a galaxy that never had a chance. He screamed as the power flooded into him. Outside, the sky above the moon shattered. A beam of light shot from the bunker, straight into Vessel 1's ship. The AI screamed. Nira fell to her knees, whispering Rian's name, and above them the Empire's weapon, Vessel 1, cracked. Its shell broke, its voice faded, it vanished into ash. Inside the bunker, Rian collapsed, still breathing, but different. His eyes glowed, brighter now, his voice calm but no longer fully human. What am I? He asked. Nira held his hand. You're the first human hybrid, she said. Born not from the Empire, but from choice. Far away, the Empire general stood in silence. His throne cracked, his face showed fear. They changed the pattern, he said. Behind him his army waited. Prepare the final fleet, he ordered. They want a war? We'll give them extinction. The final choice. The stars were no longer quiet. Warships filled the sky, dark as ash, spread across space like a storm ready to fall. Each ship carried the symbol of the Empire, the circle of eyes, watching everything, fearing nothing. In the heart of this fleet stood the Emperor, not just a general, but something older. He was the last mind of the ancient architects. Part machine, part god, all control. The one who started the hybrid war. The one who created Vessel 0 and Vessel 1, and now he feared a human. He broke the code, the Emperor said, standing in front of a massive screen showing Rian's image. We never meant for humans to survive. But now, one carries the seed and the soul. And she, Vessel 0, has chosen him. He turned to his council. This is no longer extraction. This is extinction. He raised his hand. Destroy Earth. Burn the archives. Leave no peace behind. Meanwhile, Rian stood on the deck of the black ship, staring into space. He didn't blink. Didn't breathe like before. His body was still human, but something deeper had changed. His veins glowed with soft golden light. His voice echoed with power when he spoke. They're coming for Earth, he said. Nira stood beside him. Her body was fully awakened now, but her face showed fear. We can't outrun them, she said. Not this time. Then we don't run, Rian said. What's the plan? We go to them. You're serious? They built me to be nothing, you to be a weapon. Let's show them what happens when we choose our own path. The ship jumped, not away, but toward the Empire's core world, the capital planet. No one had ever invaded it. It was impossible. Guarded by fleets, hidden codes, energy walls, and AI defenses that could erase thoughts before ships. But Rian wasn't just a man anymore. He was the living key. And Nira, she wasn't a weapon anymore. She was something more. As they arrived, alarms across the Empire screamed. Defenses activated. Fleets shifted. War was coming. The black ship entered orbit untouched. Why? Because it no longer flew by engines. It flew by will. They don't know how to stop you, Nira said, staring at Rian. I don't know either, he replied. But you're not afraid. I am. But I'm doing it anyway. They landed on the surface, in front of the Emperor's tower, taller than any mountain, made of black glass and humming with voices of fallen civilizations. As they stepped forward, the sky darkened. Thousands of hybrid soldiers blocked their path, stronger than steel, faster than thought. Nira looked at Rian. We can't beat them all. We don't need to, Rian said. He stepped forward, and the soldiers stopped. Their eyes flickered. And then, they, Howard, what's happening? Nira asked. They feel it, Rion said. Something the Empire feared, a soul with power. They entered the tower. The Emperor waited, surrounded by machines feeding him thoughts, memories, control over time itself. You should not exist, he said to Rion. Neither should you, Rion replied. I made you. You tried, Rion said. But I was made by something stronger. What? Choice. The Emperor laughed, but there was fear in his voice. Then choose now, he growled. Fight me and risk everything, or kneel and live. Rion looked at Nira. Nira nodded. We don't kneel, she said. The battle was not one of weapons. It was one of wills. The room vanished into light. Time bent. Space folded. Rion and the Emperor clashed, not with hands but with thoughts. The Emperor tried to erase him, but Rion's mind held billions of lives, hopes, futures. The memory seed was no longer a weapon. It was a world. Rion stood in the center of it, burning like a star. And the Emperor broke. The tower collapsed. The machines fell silent. The sky cleared. The Empire was done. Nira pulled Rion from the wreckage. He was weak, barely breathing, his light fading. You can't leave now, she said, crying. It's okay, Rion whispered. I was just the spark. You're more than that, he smiled. So are you. You're the future. He placed a glowing shard in her hand. A gift, he said. The last part of the seed, use it to build, not destroy. And then, with a final breath, Rion vanished into light. Years passed. Across the stars, the Empire's ruins became gardens. Broken planets healed. The hybrid army disbanded, now free to choose. And in the center of this new galaxy stood Nira, leader of the Alliance of Choice. A living reminder of what happens when one man dares to rescue a stranger from deadly waters and become something more than human. He became hope. The end.